How's it going, bros? My name is PewDiePie.
PewDiePie, mamma mia!
Almost 20 years of internet brain rot and doom scrolling, and yet the one thing I still remember is PewDiePie's outro.
I'm on my period!
Well, obviously that wasn't it, but I just wanted to show that because back then you could get away with that.
PewDiePie, or Felix Schellberg, used to be the undisputed king of YouTube, the man who held the YouTube world at the tip of his fingers. He started out his channel making gameplay videos, but that's besides the point. You can talk a lot about his career, especially that time on the bridge and the Fiverr thing he did, but that isn't what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about his games. The one thing that people don't usually discuss often about PewDiePie is something very few YouTubers has ever succeeded in: the gaming market. Like literally making video games, or at least licensing them out to companies to make games based on him for him. It's like terrible movie tie-in games, like how H3H3 Ethan Klein had that Ball Rider game that everyone hated as much as his DLC pack on Payday 2. PewDiePie had several games: Legend of the Brofist, Pixelings, Felix, what the fuck? But the one PewDiePie game I don't really see anyone ever bring up anymore though. No, this is a game of a refined era, a genre only appreciated by the most wealthy of elites. Tuber Simulator. Tuber Simulator is so interesting to me. It was released literally 10 years ago, right before PewDiePie unleashed the adpocalypse and became mainstream media's anti-Citizen 1. Despite everything, Tuber Simulator is still chugging along and receiving support. And the one thing I'm wondering after all these years is simply this: what the hell was the point of this game's existence?
Drinking bleach tutorial. Great. I did not even set that up. Fantastic.
At some point, I originally intended to explain the entirety of PewDiePie's career, but that took too long, and the most important thing you should know is that he collabed with some people he shouldn't have, like fucking Elon Musk, Ben Shapiro, Justin Roiland, and also he said the N-word on the bridge. He made a few jokes he shouldn't have, but now he's retired. That's all you need to know about his career, I guess.
Bitch lasagna, bitch lasagna.
At some point, PewDiePie partnered with a game studio called Outer Minds to make a bunch of licensed games based on his career, the way you do when you make a game on ET, dump thousands of cartridges into landfills, and an video game market crash. Outer Minds is a French-Canadian studio based in Montreal, Canada. They've made a few games in the past, but they're most famous for working with PewDiePie to make games like the ones I mentioned earlier in the video. And it was at this point of writing the script that I found out that they also made that one Ethan Klein game. Honestly, if I were to make a game based on Ethan and Gila, I'd probably regret it as much as I did if I had made the Payday 2 DLC based on them. Jesus Christ.
I love that I can just say no.
Yeah, I feel like you're using a little liberally.
I love saying.
The one thing I'll give credit to Outer Minds, aside from making these PewDiePie games, is the art style. Now, I didn't grow up playing games from the 90s because I'm a zoomer with several existential crises, but Outer Minds' art style has this very distinctive retro-esque pixel art that I can't tell is either 16-bit or 32-bit. Yeah, I'm refraining from saying 8-bit or else the purists are going to come out of the woodworks and lynch me at the Salem witch trials because I don't know about pixel art. This art style that Outer Minds has is so iconic, at least to the people who have played these games, that they've continued to use them in other games, especially the one they released just 2 years ago called Turbo Kid. I don't know anything about Turbo Kid, but that's probably not helped by the fact that I've seen no one promote this game, not even PewDiePie. But that's probably because PewDiePie is retired now and might not even remember he worked with Outer Minds. Legend of the Brofist is just a classic side-scrolling platform game. There's videos that go into detail of what that game is about from people more knowledgeable than I am talking about it. Like Aya's gigantic video on that came out 2 years ago. But the most important thing that you should know is that the game aged really poorly because Cryotic is aside from that, a lot of aspects from Legend of the Brofist translate into PewDiePie and Outer Minds' next game, Tuber Simulator. Bits and pieces of the art style translate to this mobile game, and despite me dedicating this entire video to, well, Tuber Simulator, you're going to see why no one gives a shit about this game anymore. I was a PewDiePie Tuber Simulator OG. Unsurprising given that my introduction to PewDiePie was Happy Wheels Funny Moments montage number 2. Tuber Simulator was released on the 29th of September 2016. It was originally published by PewDiePie's YouTube network called Revel Mode, but you won't find mentions of that network anywhere because of something I'll bring up later in the video. This game is almost 10 goddamn years old. I think it would be more fitting if I made a video on this game on the day the game dropped, but even if the game celebrated its 10th anniversary, I don't think PewDiePie would even acknowledge it because the last time he made a video on this game was 7 years ago. Even if what I said wasn't true, it's ironic that PewDiePie let this game fall to the wayside completely, given that he promoted this game a ton before it came out. For such a small game like Tuber Simulator, there's surprisingly quite a lot of stuff that went into the game before, during, and after its release, so we'll have to get through them one by one.
This is what happens when I don't get my turkey sandwich.
The launch of Tuber Simulator was pretty big, at least I remember it like that. It was like the most hyped shit ever, which is also ironic because the game is a glorified idle game where you do jack shit for 17 hours straight, and sometimes more than 24 hours, I'm not joking. It's full of microtransactions, it's full of ads. The most fun you'll be playing is the pachinko machines, and this blew my mind when I was 12 years old. So many big YouTubers, many of whom were people that PewDiePie worked with for years, the likes of Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, cry out to... According to PewDiePie, this game took about a year to make.
This game has been in development over the year, baby.
I don't know what to feel about that because this game is kind of slop, and also this was released a year after Legend of the BROFIST, so I'm pretty sure this was made solely to capitalize off of the first game's release, especially since this was made by the same developers. If that was the intent, then it was a successful investment, because out of all the games, PewDiePie was basically the big name attached to it, like Sex Offenders or the Yakuza Kiwami 3. Tuber Simulator is still the most relevant one, while all of the other games slowly became forgotten. And that's not saying much because Tuber Simulator is also somewhat forgotten. A lot of famous YouTubers played this game for a hot bit. You can still see the graveyard of Tuber Simulator empires in the Tuber ranking section of the game, and at one point you could actually visit their rooms to see how they play at their games. The ranking isn't actually a real leaderboard. It's just stroking off the big YouTubers' egos and also a stealth insult to T-Series because of course.
If you click on the T-Series Tuber ranking, you just get redirected to PewDiePie's congratulations music video.
Did you know that Indians have poo-poo in their brain?
Oh my god!
You have the people who are still around like Markiplier, Quebblecop, Eagle Raptor, Jacksepticeye, Tomska, PewDiePie's wife Marzia, Ethan Klein, Pyrocynical, Cryoutic. Most of you probably wouldn't remember who Cryoutic is, but he was PewDiePie's ride and die partner for God knows how long, being featured in so many collab videos and also a lot of uncomfortable fan fictions on the same level as Markiplier being paired up with Jacksepticeye.
I don't know if you even like...
He literally did the voice acting for one of Tuber Simulator's many trailers.
You have the chance to take him out and become #1 in Tuber Sim.
And I highly doubt anyone but the PewDiePie OGs will remember or recognize him. At some point, Cryoutic disappeared from Felix's videos, and I'm not sure why this happened, but what is known was that Cryoutic slowly descended into a very self-destructive cycle and then proceeded to flirt with a minor.
Will you forget my turkey again?
PewDiePie does the voice acting in the game, and I'm sorry to say, but it's the one that sounds closest to his Redditor era, where it's kind of nasally and high-pitched than his more normal, gravelly voice. I find it funny that he did this, or maybe Outer Minds asked him to do this way, and you can really tell his heart isn't all there when he's saying all that.
Hey, how's it going, bros? My name is PewDiePie. Welcome to PewDiePie's Tuber Simulator. That's a lot of views for your first video. Nowhere near what I get, though.
God damn it, PewDiePie, you fucking narcissist.
You start as a random guy inside of a room with no exit, a maze with no prize. It's an isometric room with rotting floorboards and peeling wallpaper, and it's your job to turn the setup from a shitty cardboard box into a multi-million business and getting sponsorships. You do that by making 3 videos with randomly generated titles that you can edit, kind of, and sometimes you can take advantage of a trending topic as seeing these little symbols like a baseball bat, or this absolutely insane randomized title that I got implied that my character was going to jump off a skyscraper. Jesus Christ. Do a flip! The longer you progress the game, the more you can adjust how long the video will take to record, edit, and generate views and subs. In the game, this isn't real YouTubing, and you also progress by buying a lot of furniture to level up, complete a bunch of quests, and then earn brain points to unlock skills in the skill tree. Yes, this game has a fucking skill tree. The more you level up, the more expensive furniture gets, and you have to wait for them to ship to you like you're ordering shit off Amazon in real life. This is my room. There's random shit everywhere because I don't care about how cool my room room looks anymore, and I only want to level up at least for this video. Occasionally, you'll hear an eagle cry and there'll be an eagle carrying a box on the main screen. Tap on it and you'll get a bunch of bonus stuff, and that's supposed to be a reference to sponsorships. It's called a sponsor eagle and they barely give you anything in the game, and given that this was 2016 and it's been 10 years since, sponsorship nowadays would more than likely show out thousands just to get a paid promotion in your video, like Raid Shadow Legends, which is really funny because this game has optional ads you can force yourself to watch just to progress a tiny little bit faster. And Raid Shadow Legends run ads on this game that nobody gives a fuck about anymore, as if their life depends on it more than a JonTron sponsorship. This game is full of ads. You can use ads to skip or buff about anything, ads for boosting views, ads for faster furniture shipping, and even ads to earn Tuber Simulator's premium currency, bucks. It's not even surprising a game like this has the hallmarks of freemium mobile games. Like, yeah, you can play this game normally, but good God, are you brick walled if you don't have the money to just pay your way to victory? This also wasn't an older version of the game, but now you have exclusive high value offers for cheap discounts and a fucking VIP subscription that is way too expensive for a game like Tuber Simulator. Dude, I'm not paying $13 fucking a month for a Tuber Simulator VIP. All the VIP does is give you 80 bucks every day, when most bucks items can cost from 45 to 500. And also, you don't have to watch ads for temporary buffs. That's one of the benefits. This would only be worth it if you're willing to drop $156 a fucking year on a shitty game you wouldn't even be playing often. No thanks, bro.
The reason why I'm saying that is because Tuber Simulator's entire gameplay loop is just sitting around and waiting. Fucking Battle Cats and Warhammer 40k Tacticus has you doing something every goddamn day. Come on!
If you want to speed up the game without watching ads, you can also get bonus items like clickbaits or subscriber magnets. I should mention that I have no idea what the hell subs are even for in this game. Clickbait and magnets help with progression since you earn more and can afford more expensive furniture, but you can also get buffs to shipping for either delivery drone that just gives you it instantly or nitro shipping that makes it go faster. Or you can, again, just watch an ad to make it faster. God damn it, this game is more monetized than fucking Roblox! You can speed up everything without bucks. There's stuff like Gobble and Puggle that speeds up how fast it takes for a video to finish generating views and subs, and for furniture to arrive, mostly by cutting down the time with a multiplier or a flat time decrease. Gobble speeds up videos with pixelings, which are pets you have to hatch from eggs, and I don't really give a fuck about them. And again, it's right for microtransactions, and you deploy them on a small field to pick up a bunch of food items or bonus stuff. The more you collect, the more time is decreased and the more stuff you can get, but the AI of the pixelings are intentionally really stupid. All of them are probably going to end up accidentally killing themselves. Puggle, on the other hand, is sending PewDiePie's pet dogs to their deaths. It randomizes between dropping Maya or Edgar, and the Puggle background features them a ton. In fact, a lot of the game's artworks feature PewDiePie's pet dogs, which is pretty cute, but also not surprising because they're just as iconic as PewDiePie's branding. They get put through this pachinko purgatory where you collect bubble bonuses to either increase the multiplier for how much time gets cut down from furniture shipments or more bucks and consumable items like clickbaits. You can also adjust the amount of views you want to spend to determine how much time you want to cut down, but it's a big money sink, and also you're sending PewDiePie's dogs to fall to their deaths. Oh yeah, this was also a time when YouTube middleman networks were still a thing. There used to be a thing called multi-channel networks, which had channels like Machinima thrive. PewDiePie's Revel Mode network was one of the many MCNs that used to exist. Markiplier was literally part of this too, but it got shut down after only 2 years of existence because of that whole anti-Semitism thing in 2017. Oh my god. This is best represented by the huge network community mechanic that Tuber Simulator has, but it's just a fucking clan system from Clash of Clans, minus the clan wars and getting kicked out for not being there because your mother was on her deathbed. You can contribute views to your network, and the network has its own skill list, which means that the highest ranking networks gets the most benefits for its players. The more everyone contributes views, the stronger it becomes. They also implemented a Discord server integration feature at some point, but no one uses this because this game is, again, pretty much forgotten and only played by the vestiges of society who roam around the Tuber Simulator wastelands like Mad Max or some shit. I wrote down what Craniac was about in the script. It's only like an extra sentence, but in trying to say it out loud, I get brick walled because of how pointless this feature is, or at least I think it's pointless. You have to spend a lot of views just to play the Craniac games, but you can also pick up views from the Craniac game, and the returns, man, are so fucking minuscule that it's literally just better to play the game normally than play this goddamn crane game. It's so useless. Well, nobody really talks about this game. The people that still care about Tuber Simulator that are the Skeleton Crew developers left behind to maintain this piece of shit come back mainly for one reason: contest. Yes, this game has contests. It has theme-based events where you enter your rooms in and get the most amount of votes to win. Yes, there are seasons to this. Come on, Felix, this isn't Clash of Clans. I don't do these because it's only the people who have clearly spent a ludicrous amount of money on this nothing burger of a game that will win. Like, come on, look at these rooms. There's no way someone managed to do all this shit by playing for free. That's just not possible unless you sweat hard enough on competitive Tuber Simulator by playing for 10 years straight. I've never won rewards from when I tried these, but from what I've read, you win views, subs, bugs, but it's always the cheap shit and nothing expensive because of course Outer Minds can't be too generous or else they'll end up losing most of the revenue that they get from forcing people to buy bucks.
We've got to have money.
PewDiePie did share some of these really creative rooms that people made early on into the game's existence, but it'd be a stretch to imply that this was all fine and dandy because some people decide to show off swastikas in their rooms, and I don't mean the Buddhist ones.
Do you know how many fucking hoops we had to go through to make sure that the game won't be censored?
There's also meme events, which I think is a new addition, but I've never used the photo mode that was probably added very recently, and I just don't care. How did this get past approval? Oh yeah, you can also send and receive gifts from friends. You add friends by entering their names. This is nothing like making friends in real life. I wish it was. At the end of the day, you can really tell why this game fell off as quickly as it became popular. PewDiePie hasn't acknowledged its existence past 2018, or I could be wrong on that. He's gone into other projects in the coming years and has also since effectively retired from YouTube, a rich man, going down history as one of the biggest, if not the biggest icon of YouTube, plus having said the N-word on a video game bridge at one time. Tuber Simulator was big for its time, but only because PewDiePie's name was attached to it, and even then, the game's idea wasn't even unique nor original. Even Felix acknowledged that this idea was kind of stolen from another game called YouTuber's Life, which is even more ironic when you find out YouTuber's Life got a sequel, and PewDiePie made a video on YouTuber's Life 2 4 years ago. That game series got more acknowledgement from Felix than his own fucking game.
Ah! Barrels! You fucking barrels!
Tuber Simulator is pretty much just a freemium game that had PewDiePie's name slapped onto it. It's rife with expensive microtransactions, dumb features, and it didn't age all too well. It's basically just a really weird remnant of the past. It's 10 years old. I doubt there could really be anything you could add to refresh Tuber Simulator, but the game pretty much did everything it set out to do, which would just be a time burner idle game that anyone could enjoy, or at least anyone with some pocket cash and disposable income. But also, it's reflective and parodying aspects of YouTube that were more common in the past, like the prevalence of huge third-party networks and how differently sponsorships were treated back then, before it all got changed either for the better or worse with the advent of PewDiePie's actions that irreversibly changed the platform forever. I know I've made a lot of PewDiePie jokes that blamed him for making everyone's paycheck worth shit, but to his credit, even though he did cause some of YouTube's monetization problems, more malicious actors have done worse than Felix ever did to ruin other YouTubers' ability to make money on the platform. And that adds on to my next point. Tuber Simulator is just nostalgic, a reminder of a different era of the internet. So much of YouTube was dominated by gaming videos like PewDiePie's classics. Tuber Simulator reminds me of old PewDiePie, specifically the one before 2016, if not old YouTube as a whole. I miss his old Happy Wheels videos and he was definitely way more down to earth than he is now, I guess. But watching his old stuff gave me a feeling of warmth I had not felt in years. You could say the same for other famous YouTubers as well, like Markiplier. I miss old Markiplier. He was way more cheerful and energetic, but you can't always stick to that gimmick forever. Both these two adults have since pivoted towards newer style content because they grew with the internet and vice versa. I think just like Tuber Simulator, while we can be nostalgic about it all we want and harken back to the good old days, we should look at it and Felix as a whole in a balanced way. Neither the game nor PewDiePie was perfect. They're both flawed in their own respects, maybe with the man himself probably garnering more criticism because a lot of the things he did in hindsight aged really poorly, but whether you're a fan or not, PewDiePie has changed, and we should judge things in a more balanced way rather than excusing or exaggerating past actions. The same goes with Tuber Simulator. Yeah, it's monetization hell, but for what it was 10 years ago, it was just a dumb little game that had your favorite YouTubers involved. Anyways, thank you bros for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe and become a bro today. I'll see you bros in the next video. Bro. thank you to my patrons, Sai and Toad from Mario 64. I'm probably saying that name incorrectly. This video wasn't meant to come out until after the Bite by Night video, but due to some really bad timing, Bite by Night video has to be delayed. It's still under maintenance as I'm recording this video. I'm very outdated with all the information, so I have to rework the video script. And follow me on Twitter, maybe my Blue Sky as well, but I don't recommend it. Subscribe to my Patreon if you want. I'm probably going to decrease the price further because like I have 8,000 subscribers. I shouldn't be charging this for like $10 a month, at least in AUD. I base everything off USD pricing so I'd get more money, but I probably went overboard. I apologize for that. Anyways, thank you all for the support, and I don't know why I'm still streaming from across the room. Doing that PewDiePie outro unironically made me laugh. I tried to do it seriously, but that wasn't a forced laugh.